Uh, this is it. Make no mistake where you are. It's week 6. Welcome. And you're almost through with this course. I hope you had a good time. We'll just have a few things that I'll point out about brands a little bit later. But before that, let's just end this initial part with the song, and then we'll get to family time. All right, here we go. This tonight, you're probably gonna start a fight. Girl, I know this can't be right. Hey, baby, come on. I loved you endlessly, and you weren't there for me. So now it's time to leave and make it alone. I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I wanna see you out that door, baby, bye, bye, bye. Don't wanna be fooled for you, just another player in your game for two. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie. Bye, 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 bye. Okay, the main point was last week, bye-bye. It wasn't any of those things. Enjoyed your work and your progress. And if you guys ever need any help with any other classes or anything, just let me know. Shoot me an email if you want any advice or want any help with any technology. But now, guess what? It's family time. Welcome to the final video for this class. This is the last week, and we're going to talk a little bit about brands and some other things, and also give you a heads up on what to do when, and just remind you about a few things for the final project. First thing to cover, and I think this is really important to remember, is Friday, August 11th. This Friday, everything is due. That's when the summer course ends. What's due that day by 11:59 p.m. It's your journal, it's the discussion forum post. But this week, there's only 3, plus 1 response to a classmate. I've done that just so that you can get all of this finished by August 11th. And then your video in a product. This is the final project where you're making a 30 to 60 second video ad for the product you've been working with all semester. There's no redo for anything coming, the videoing a product, but you do have an opportunity to redo that proposal you just did. So that'll be due also this Friday, August 11th, if you choose to redo it. You don't have to. But other redos, like for video in a product, there will be no redo for this final project. You'll just get your score, and that's what it'll be. And there's no more late stuff opportunities for anything like I had just this last Friday. So that time is over. No late work won't be accepted. So make sure you stick to this Friday, August 11th timeline. It's really important to get everything done then. So your video in a product, these are some things just to remember, and this is all in the instructions on Blackboard. It's a start from scratch video, no templates. You should use pictures and video from approved visual image and video galleries, or pictures or videos that you've taken. Look for those Creative Commons licenses. And again, if you are having concerns about those or know what that means, you can just look it up and see what Creative Commons licenses mean and how they can be used. Things can be used. It should use approved audio resources. Again, same thing for the video. Again, it's got to be 30 to 60 seconds long. You got to stick to those constraints. It should include like an interview or a testimonial or something like that. Otherwise things are up to you. But that's one thing I'd like to see you guys have in there. Don't use any kids unless they're from stock footage, stock photos, or anything like that of kids for this project. So that's another constraint that you're going to have. And your video has to have a works cited portion. So the works cited portion can be in the credits or something like that. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email, and hopefully I'll be able to answer your questions pretty quickly. I'm pretty good with getting back to email. Okay, just some things that I think are kind of important to keep in mind when you move out of this class into other classes is just to understand what branding is and what a brand is. And a brand itself, this is kind of what you're doing with your product. It's all the characteristics and assets of a brand. It's the name, it's the product, the service. It's what differentiates it from the competition and the perception of the brand by the audience. Okay, so branding is kind of a little bit about what we've been doing. Well, why brand? Why do this with your product? Because, I mean, there's lots of potatoes out there. There's lots of mops. There's lots of origami or paper uses, right? Well, part of it's connected to the ethos, the character you want to attach to your product. And a really important part of it is the construct. So the construct is what is the quality or position a brand owns against the competition, right? So you have constructs like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, constructs in like, Shell gasoline and other I don't know if Texaco exists anymore, but Exxon, they have their own constructs. What do you own? What is the thing, the niche that you've got that the competition might not have? So with Pepsi, it's that choice of the new generation. Pepsi uses a lot of celebrities in their campaigns, or at least they used to. I think they still do. And Coca-Cola doesn't, right? Coca-Cola owns more the family idea, not so much about your individual identity, right? With Pepsi, and Coca-Cola tries to own, more family with like their love and friendship commercials. I can't remember that. If I'm getting that campaign right, hopefully you remember. You can look it up. And then the polar bears, right? And then I think they really have latched on to Christmas and that sort of identity as well. So Coca-Cola and Pepsi are owning different constructs, even though they're basically, the same product. What goes into these campaigns and the brands, you've got your verbal identity. Those are things like taglines, your name of the brand, like the Imaginator, which is really cool. And then visual identities. Those would be the typefaces, the colors, the logos you're using that you put throughout each of these campaigns. So the visual identity is going to be kind of key, just connecting to your poster, that kind of thing. Also the verbal identity, what terms are you going to use maybe from that initial poster and the audio, and then into this to create that sort of campaign to tie things together. There's also, right, audio identity. So that's something that maybe you'll have use some of the same music that was in the last in your audio campaign. So even audio identity is important and something to think about. We can see just from this more constructs, right? The Sour Patch Kids commercial. Yes, please, I would like to try some, right? So it's kind of grabbing just from the visual imagery, some kind of excitement, it's almost like adrenaline. It's extreme. It seems kind of loud and in your face. And then just from the name of, love grown sea stars, truly fruit, right? So they're trying to create that construct of being, more the natural, the peaceful, sort of like a cereal. All right, so we see these all over, right? You've got these two cereals. They're just trying to grab some kind of construct, some kind of identity that they own. And this is something, again, I hope you think about with regards to the current 6-week thing that we've done, which I know it went so fast, but especially when you go out of this class, like think about how you're going to connect your different modes of communication and media that you use to make some kind of cohesive unit. So how to construct? Well, it's about differentiation, right? So making things different from other products. It's about being consistent with that differentiation. So it's not something different each time. There's something that you've picked up on that you really want to emphasize that makes the brand different. I think earlier I mentioned like Shell and Exxon are different gas companies. I think Shell had this campaign. It's kind of like a greenwashing campaign where they try to put themselves in the position of being the environmentally friendly fuel producer. But again, it's creating that consistency, having that campaign that's always mentioning that, or having the visual imagery that's part of that, and that differentiation. Another thing would be, relevance. How relevant can your brand maybe connect to things that are going on, maybe holidays, things going on in the world, but to keep that relevant, right? Like, so Pepsi probably wants to stay relevant if they're targeting the youth market, right? With stars today, right? Maybe not. Madonna or Michael Jackson or Mick Jagger, like that. They're probably going to target the younger groups. I guess, Taylor Swift and Adele, Beyonce, Billie Eilish, and we know who did it. So you've got to own it, right? Have your brand, the visual identity, your logo, the name, the product somewhere on it, so that is, part of all of these things, and it's at the forefront so people remember. And again, if you want to see like a pretty cool construct in art, check out Ryan Berkeley Illustrated. What the artist is doing really owns a particular position with regards to animal art. It's kind of cool. There's an example. A brand advertising campaign. It's a series of coordinated ads based on an overarching strategy connected by the look, feel, voice, tone, style, imagery, and tagline, where each individual ad in the campaign can also stand on its own. So you can see this with just the metaphor, right? What will you see from the top of the hill and the green? When you walk around, McDaniel has created, an advertising campaign just on campus, things that they want to emphasize. Also, when you guys go into the field outside of school, if you get into PR or marketing or even journalism, something like that, you'll notice that there are like these rules of how to talk about things and things you want to emphasize. Even McDaniel has its own brand guidelines. So what words do you want to use? How do you want to frame the culture? What do you want to say? Those sorts of things, which is very important, right, for the tone, the style, just to show how you differentiate from maybe other schools. And it's just key so that your audience knows where you're at and what your position is. So that was all for today. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I really hope you liked the course and you got some things out of it. I hope the course connected to other courses that you've been taking and just built upon the knowledge that you already have. I hope some of it, was new knowledge that you could, start using in other courses. I hope you started thinking about the world in different ways. And I hope you have a great next semester. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.
Farewell, I'll be just saying good night. I hate to go and leave this pretty sight.